All right, let's just forget about the huge headline-grabbing stocks for a minute. Today, we're going to dive into something a little different. We're looking at the companies that are quietly, in the background, building the actual nuts and bolts tech for what could be tomorrow's biggest industries. So let me just ask you this. What if the most exciting opportunities out there aren't the ones everyone's talking about? What if there's somewhere else entirely? We're talking about the real pioneers, the ones pushing the limits in batteries, in aerospace, and building the very foundation for our future in space. And, that's really the heart of what we're talking about today. It's so easy to get caught up chasing the big headlines, right? But the real, honest-to-goodness innovation, a lot of the time, that's happening just under the radar. And that's exactly where we're going to put our focus, on these quiet innovators. Okay, let's get right into it. And just to be clear, we are not talking about hype here. No meme stocks. We are going to break down two very specific companies that are building real tech, signing real contracts, and this is the big one, generating real revenue. One of them is completely changing the game in energy storage, and the other, well, they're building the literal backbone for our future in space and defense.
First up, we've got Amprius Technologies. Now, these guys have been around since 2008, way before the whole battery craze really took off. Their entire focus is on one thing: creating lithium-ion batteries that pack a serious punch, way more energy in a smaller space. And they've got a secret sauce to make it happen.
So what is that secret sauce? It's something called a silicon anode. Now, most batteries, use graphite. But here's the thing. Silicon can store a ton more energy. We're not talking a tiny little improvement here. This is a massive leap forward. It's a total game changer for everything from drones to electric planes. The trick, though, has always been making it work on a huge commercial scale. And that is exactly what Amprius is cracking. And get this, they're actually doing it. This isn't just some science experiment in a lab anymore. Since the beginning of 2023, Amprius has shipped its batteries to more than 440 different customers. That number is so important because it's proof positive that this tech is leaving the lab and getting into real products out in the real world. So why does that matter so much? Well, for one, it proves the demand is real. It's not just a cool idea. People actually want to buy it. It also means the company isn't putting all its eggs in one basket, right? They're not just relying on one big client. Their technology is being put to the test in all sorts of fields: drones, robotics, defense, you name it. And that diversification, it just brings down the overall risk for the business. This is exactly the kind of thing you want to see. And all that customer growth, it's lighting a fire under their financials. I mean, check this out. In their last quarter, Amprius reported 173% revenue growth compared to the year before. Let that sink in. This isn't just slow, steady progress. This is like hitting the nitrous button. It's pure acceleration. And just to put some real numbers on that, their revenue shot up from just under $8 million last year to over $21 million in just this last quarter. I mean, a jump like that tells you one thing very clearly. Their production line is humming and their sales are scaling up big time. But wait, it gets better. It's not just that they're selling more. The whole financial engine is getting healthier. Their gross margin, basically how much profit they make on each battery, jumped from 9% to 15%. That tells you they're getting way more efficient at making this stuff. And at the same time, look at the losses. They're shrinking fast. So think about that. They're growing like crazy while also getting closer to profitability. That is a really tough balancing act to pull off. And if you look beyond the raw numbers, the story just keeps getting stronger. They've got this whole stack of strategic wins that add some serious street cred. I'm talking an innovation award from CES, that's the huge electronics show. They got picked for Amazon's Climate Tech Accelerator, and maybe the biggest vote of confidence, a $35 million repeat order from a major drone company. Oh, and by the way, they're sitting on $73 million in cash with zero debt. These aren't just bullet points on a slide. These are massive signals that the market believes in what they're doing. Okay, deep breath. Let's totally switch gears now. We're going from the world of tiny, powerful batteries to the huge, foundational infrastructure of space and defense. Our second company is called Redwire Corporation, and these guys play in a really interesting sandbox, right at the intersection of space, defense, and all those autonomous systems. And we're not talking about science fiction here. This is the real deal, backed by the US government. So Redwire got picked to be part of the Missile Defense Agency's SHIELD program. That's a massive framework for building the next generation of missile defense.
Now, hold on. To be super clear, Redwire isn't getting a check for $151 billion. But just being selected to be part of a program that huge, it puts them right at the center of critical U.S. defense strategy, setting them up for contracts that could last for decades. And they have absolutely proven they can deliver on this stuff. A perfect example. Redwire built and deployed these incredible rollout solar arrays for NASA's Lunar Gateway space station. I mean, this is seriously complex hardware that is working right now, as we speak, in deep space. And let me tell you, when you prove your tech can survive and work in orbit, your phone starts ringing a lot more for future contracts. You want more proof that their engineering is top-notch? How about this? Redwire landed a $44 million contract from DARPA. For anyone who doesn't know, that's the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. It is without a doubt one of the most elite, most demanding engineering groups on the entire planet. Getting a contract from DARPA isn't just a win, it's a massive stamp of approval from the best of the best. So all these huge wins, they're directly fueling some serious growth. Revenue just in the third quarter hit $103 million. That's up 50% from the year before. And that growth is coming straight from those big defense programs and space missions we were just talking about. It's all connected.
Now, let's be real for a second. It's not all a walk in the park. To give you the full picture, Redwire definitely has its challenges. For starters, they're still burning through cash, negative operating cash flow. And trying to execute on these giant, super complex government contracts, it is incredibly difficult and costs a ton of money up front. It's a tough, tough business to be in. But the potential payoff, if they can nail it, is absolutely massive and very long-term.
All right, so let's zoom out and put this all together. What we have here are two really powerful but really different companies. Both of them are attacking industries with just enormous long-term demand. So how do they really stack up against each other? When you boil it all down, it really comes to this. On one hand, you have Amprius. That's your classic high-growth tech play. It's all about speed, new customers jumping on board, and commercial scaling happening now. Then you have Redwire. That's the long game, the infrastructure powerhouse. Their story is driven by these huge, slow-moving government contracts that will play out over decades. So you got two totally different risk profiles, two totally different timelines. But what they have in common is that both are carving out a critical niche in markets that are just going to keep on growing. So what's the big takeaway here? When all is said and done, how should we really think about these quiet innovators who are doing all this incredible work behind the scenes? You know, ultimately, it really boils down to one fundamental question for you to think about. Which future gets you more excited? Is it the super fast, disruptive world of energy storage that could literally change everything from our gadgets to how we fly? Or is it the slow, steady, and deliberate build-out of the foundational backbone that's going to support space and defense for generations? Two very different paths to the future, and both of them are being built right now as we speak.